Yeah, and they are still here this morning. Officers have been investigating overnight and throughout the early morning hours. The shots were fired on the 400 block of Quincy Street here behind me, and you can see that there is a crime scene van. He's still here this morning, and this section of Quincy Street is blocked off. We have seen some officers walking around yet this morning looking for evidence of things like shell casings. So when I spoke with officers earlier this morning, what they told me happened is that there was actually a couple of officers at St. John's Park just after midnight earlier this morning. They were giving out tickets to people who were in the park after hours, and that's when those officers heard about 5 to 6 gunshots coming from the east. So they said they broke up and headed in this direction of Quincy Street, and when they got here they stumbled across a couple of people out in the street, and that's when they were able to determine that shots were fired toward a home on Quincy Street.
We located 2 individuals that we have detained at the police department, and then we met with people mid-block at the victim home, and there was 4 other people inside there that we detained. We're interviewing them. We don't believe anybody was hit by gunfire.
Police say earlier this morning that they did find one bullet hole in a home, and they did have a canine out here as well looking for any evidence or things that might have been ditched, like a handgun, things like that. Police say that no one was hurt in this shooting incident, and after talking to neighbors, those neighbors described this home where this happened as a nuisance property. Reporting live in Green Bay, Kristen Allen, Action 2 News. Yeah, and they are still here this morning. This 400 block of Quincy Street is still blocked off here behind me. If you take a look, there are officers here, and we can see the crime unit van still here this morning as well. Officers have been kind of looking around. In fact, just a few moments ago, we saw an officer with a metal detector looking for evidence, perhaps shell casings, things of that nature. So they are still investigating, and this is what we know happened. This is on the 400 block of Quincy Street, and when I spoke to officers this morning, they said they were actually at St. John's Park this morning just after midnight issuing tickets to people who were there after hours, and that's when they say they heard about 5 to 6 gunshots. So they headed east in the direction they heard them, got here to Quincy Street, and that's when they stumbled upon a group of people here who were out on the streets, and that's when they started talking and determined this is where the gunshots came from. They said that initially 2 people did run off, but later they caught up with them and they were detained for questioning with at least 4 other people as well. Now, so far, when I talked to police earlier this morning, they had told me they had found 1 bullet hole in a home, and a canine unit was also out here looking for other evidence, perhaps a handgun that was ditched along the way or something like that. Now, police say that no one was hurt, and in talking to neighbors, they say that they described this house here on Quincy Street where this happened as a nuisance property. Reporting live in Green Bay, Kristen Allen, Action 2 News.